So a lot of LeBaron owners run into this issue where their rear windows don't go down. I'm going to do a tutorial on how to remove them, or at least how I remove them. You may find an easier way, whatever works best for you. So first thing you're going to do is reach under here and pop the back seat up. Seat bottom pops up, and then you remove the seat belts from this area. Kind of a trick to get them out of there. As you slide them, there's a hole there, and then you get the bottom out. And you start the next step. So now that you got the rear seat bottom out of the way, you're going to come back in the back of the boot well and just pull all these snaps loose along the back side. Run all the way across both sides. It's simple to do. You just give them a little tug, and then this will flip up and up over the back part of the seat, and then the side panel. And then when you come down inside of here, you're going to see there's more snaps here. The older ones have a nut that holds this corner in, but the newer ones, this is a 95. My 89 has nuts, so keep that in mind depending on what year you have. So once you have that up and out of the way, then you'll be able to see these right here. These bolts, they run all the way down. Sometimes they're gone already. This one's missing them, a couple of them. So that's easier, less work you got to do. 95 has shoulder belt harnesses for the rear seat. You may need to move those as well, but I don't think you have to. We're going to find out. Okay, so this car's a 95, and it's different than an 89. An 89 has the bolts that run across the back of the seat on the inside of the top well. 95 has two 10 millimeters, one there and one there. You remove those and then just lift. The seat belts kind of get in the way, and that back seat will just come right out. But if you see here, these holes here, here, those are the ones that are on the, and I know 89s. So you'll have to remove the bolts from there if you have an older one. 95 looks like they simplified it, so make it a little simpler to get it out. So the next you're going to have, you get the seat back out of the way. You have a Phillips head screw down in here. Another one down here at the bottom of this trim panel. You have one up inside the door jamb. Figure out, there it is. And then sometimes I've found you have to remove the sill plate, at least that screw. Sometimes you can get it out without doing so. So remove those, and then we'll go to the next step. So you'll see that the panel is now loose, which will gain you access closer to the motor. On the bottom of that chrome latch, there's a 10 millimeter nut. I think it's a 10 millimeter. You want to pop that nut off, and that will remove this latch out of the way. And that gives you room for the seat belt. The front seat belt, it allows it to slip through this slip right there, so you can get this panel completely out of your way. Okay, so now you can see I have the side panel removed from the car and out of the way. Go back inside the car. I've always, again, found easier to take this bolt out. This is the one that aligns the windshield, the glass, as it goes up and down. Then you got a bolt here, a bolt there, and then way down here is another one. And those are going to release the window out of the channel here. What I've found is it's easier if you have the top at least part way down. That gives you room for your window glass to clear. So if your windows don't go down, obviously you're going to need room at the top here. So that's what I would recommend. Okay, so I got the bolts all removed. You can see now the window is pretty much ready to come out. The power window motor harness, make sure you unplug that. Just push the pin and it should pop right out. And then you just lift the motor and work it out. It's kind of a struggle at times because it's kind of tight clearance through here. I've also at times had to remove this bolt and this bolt, which eliminates the mounting bracket where it angles up here. sometimes you need to remove those to get clearance. If you do, just make sure you put them back where they were. You'll notice that where the mounting bolts go through, they're notched. That allows you for, you know, movement up and down of the window motor. The bottom one is also notched. So when you take these apart, if they've never been apart before, this one has been apart at some point in time, there's going to be a black sticky pad. Just peel it off. Try to save it if you can. So let's see if we can get this thing out now. Okay, you can see now I have the whole assembly out. So really, it only took about 15 minutes, give or take, but I've done several of these, so it might take you a little longer for the first time. What I did find was, if you loosen these sit in the car like this. If you loosen them, they'll spin, drop out of the sides, out of the way, and that'll give you clearance. This one here is on the bottom. You may need to do that as well. This one was rusty, so when I took it apart, it bent itself. What happens with these is a couple of things. They get moisture down in the motor, and that causes them to freeze up or just quit working in general. Or I've also found that this cable gets broke. So you can take these apart. I have taken mine apart on my car and basically cleaned them up and re-greased them, and they work fine. But sometimes you have to replace internal parts. I don't have any of the parts, but I think there's places out there that you can if you Google search it. So hopefully this helps you out a little bit. Each car is a little different, but they're all pretty much the same. Like I said, the 89s, I know they have the bolts in the backside of the seat. The very bottom two can be very tricky to get just because of the location. Another thing that you could do if you really wanted to, you can take the side panels out still attached to the seat back, and it all comes out as one unit. It's a little more cumbersome and awkward just because of the overall size. I've heard that people say you don't need to take the back seat back out. Again, I've always done it. It doesn't take that long, but I guess if you really wanted to, you could do it with just removing the side panel. So I don't know. So hopefully it helps you out. Figure it out. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to post them in the comments. And good luck. And if you want to see any other how-to videos on the LeBaron convertible, let me know. I've got this one as a parts car here as well. It is a 95. And you can see I've got the hood already off of it, whatnot. So I just started tearing it apart. I list everything on eBay. Most of the stuff I list on eBay, I should say, and under forgotten dailies. So if you want to look on eBay at my store, I've parted several of these little cars out and other similar cars. So if you could, give me a thumbs up and a like. And like I said, if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and post them away. Thank you and have a great day.